It is UFC Hall of Famer Frankie Edgar. And Frankie, I just want to start right there. You still like hearing that? I mean, have you gotten used to it, or does that still sound pretty cool when people say the Hall of Famer?
It definitely sounds cool, man. It's always good to hear.
I love it, man. No, we kind of joked ahead of that you were nervous about, having to give up there and give a speech and be on the stage. I know that's not your big thing, but what was that night like for you? What was the whole experience like of being inducted into the Hall of Fame?
That was great, man. Getting recognized, with the people that I got inducted with was cool. Really good night. UFC really did a great job with it. I was nervous, but I mean, there was people knew if there was a teleprompter there. I'm like, if I can read, I should be able to do all right. So once I knew that teleprompter was there, I was good to go.
It always cracks me up. I mean, guys, like what you do for a living, right? I mean, you got into a cage and fought another human being in front of thousands of people, but yet a speech would get you nervous. So, like, I mean, were the nerves comparable? Was it? I mean, does that relate at all?
Like I always say, with for the speech and for fights, like I feel like you're nervous until you get on the octagon. Once you're knocked down, you're good. I feel like for the speech, it's like, hey, you think you're good, then you get on the stage, then you're like, oh shit, I'm on the stage. So a little different.
You talked about the people you were inducted with. That was a great class, right? I mean, Vanderlei Silva, Shogun Hua, Ioanni and Jacek, Chael Sonnen even up there. I mean, are you fans of those people? Like, what's it like for you to see those people? I mean, you are peers. You guys are one and the same, but are you like fan? Like, what's it like for you to see them up
No,
there?
absolutely. I mean, before I got into UFC, I remember watching Pride to Pride. Vanderlei and Shogun, soccer kicking people, stomping on people, and then Joanna is just like she's a stud of a fighter. She put on so many good performances, and then obviously Chael's he's just fun to be around, funny dude. His speech was hilarious. Yeah, so it was a great class to be inducted with.
That's awesome, man. Well, after that amazing moment, then you get to go back to the grind. You got the Champ, the Tramp podcast going on. You got the Iron Army Academy. Let's start with the podcast. I want to find out what you found enjoyable about doing the podcast, right? Because when I think about your fighting days, you were always very polite to the media. You were always very kind, but I didn't get the feeling you liked necessarily being on the microphone talking about stuff. So that's what a podcast is getting on a microphone talking about stuff. So what have you found about it that you enjoy doing?
Yeah, just talking to the certain different people. A lot of opportunities, came from it that I probably wouldn't have happened if I didn't talk to some of these people. I ended up being in a movie. I ended up doing some, like some Wim Hof breathing stuff. So I got to meet some interesting people. It's in my basement. It's really not the biggest, burden for myself. My podcast host Roger Matthews is a good buddy of mine. A lot of times we just sit down here and kick it with just each other, and if we get a good guest, it's just a plus. But it's fun. It's not the biggest money maker or anything like that. It's just something that I enjoy doing, and we'll do it as long as we can, I guess.
That's awesome. Do you wish maybe at all, like, I mean, would you have done anything different in your career? Because, like, again, when I think about like your interviews and your media time, now that you're more comfortable, maybe more confident in doing all that, do you wish maybe you would have done this earlier or handled yourself differently at all in the media during your fighting days?
Yeah, perhaps. You know what I mean. I felt like I got in this so early. I was able to watch the Conor McGregor come in and kind of change the whole atmosphere and landscape of this, and get people talking. And I just wanted to stay true to myself. And I feel like even like Instagram and social media, I'm not sitting there putting out my opinion. But if you come to my podcast, you'll get my opinion. I don't need to inject it into your life. But if you come seeking it, I'll give it to you.
That's a great pitch right there, man. I like that, and that's truthful. All right. Then on top of that, we got the Frankie Edgar Iron Army Academy. I want to start this right. I know, like, you got a great kids program already underway. It's a new gym, but I want to hear first what your pitch is, because I personally think honestly every kid should be training jiu-jitsu. Every single kid in the planet. But I do know that there's some parents that are like, no, I don't know. My kid's not a fighter. I don't want that. So, what's your pitch to people if they say, man, I'm thinking about putting my kid in jiu-jitsu? What do you tell them?
Yeah, I think when you say your kid's not a fighter, Renzo Gracie says it better than anybody. The best thing a man can have in his fighting is the best thing a man or a woman can have in their soul. And it doesn't mean physical. You got to fight to get out of bed in the morning. Sometimes you got to fight to stay out of the refrigerator. So fighting is a good thing, I think. And for a kid to take a jiu-jitsu class or martial arts class is just it's going to help them in their confidence, their discipline. Just the fact that their motor skills, all that stuff. I'm seeing kids blossom now. Like there's one kid that was scared to come on my mat, real timid dude. And now he's one of my best students, man. Just to see this kid, literally within 3 weeks, this kid blossom into someone that's more confident, comes on the mat, has his chest in the air a little bit. I always say martial arts, CrossFit or even baseball or soccer, it's great. I think that's you're gonna get fit, you're gonna be part of the community, you're gonna do this. But like what I'm teaching these kids is gonna last forever. Jiu-jitsu you could do that you could pass to your kids. You know what I mean? And it's something that could come into handy one day when, God forbid you need it.
It's
But
great, man.
with martial arts, it's just a little different animal, a little bit more embarrassing.
Yeah, I 100%, man. I think, like you said, the self-defense aspect of it is just part of it, man. The confidence and everything else that it gives you is really game-changing. And by the way, you're training your wife as well. Did I see that? You promoted your wife to blue belt?
Yeah. She's been doing jiu-jitsu, well, not like so consistent. She's been a 4 straight weight belt for probably 7 years. But now that we're in school, she's been on the mat a whole bunch. I let her sweat it out a little bit, but finally gave her a blue belt.
That's awesome, man. All right, well, let's talk about this weekend, right? The Academy's been open for a little while, but you're having the official big opening celebration this Saturday, October 26th. Everybody's welcome, right? 10 a.m. in Toms River, New Jersey. You're going to do some free clinics, striking, grappling, and then after that, it's going to be a barbecue and hangout. I saw you got Ricardo Almeida there, Mark Henry, Eddie Alvarez. I mean, the stars are coming out. Just talk about this and kind of what this weekend means to you.
Yeah, this is kind of the opening celebration. We open for a while, so I just kind of want to, show some people that haven't seen my place to place, kind of celebrate with my members that we have now. I got Eat Clean Bro coming with barbecue food. We're getting a bounce house, a dunk tank. I'm getting a punching machine. We're going to have Frankie Perez's DJing, former UFC fighter. I'm going to have Dante Rivera, Tom the Blast, Ricardo Almeida, Eddie Alvarez, Mark Henry, a bunch of people. It's going to be a good time. Hopefully going to figure out a way to watch those fights. Definitely don't want to miss the fights, Topuria versus Holloway as well. So yeah, it's going to be a good time.
That's awesome. Well, you touched on it. I was going to ask. You got to have the fights on in the background, right? So let's touch on it. I mean, obviously, your division, man. Max Holloway, man, you fought for the belt. Ilia Topuria, this undefeated stud, this new sensation, this new generation. What are you thinking about this matchup?
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. I felt like you share a ring with someone, and the type of guy that Max is. You kind of have you're in there with him a little bit, I guess, in a sense. So, I'm definitely pushing for Max. Topuria he's a stud, man. You don't see really many holes in his game. I do look to that one fight he had against Jai Herbert, where that guy's a little bit longer than him, kind of gave him some trouble. And I think maybe that's where Max can get some success, being a longer guy. Yeah, this is a lot of drama involved in it. I know they said they're Ilia was telling him point to the cage his first 10 seconds. Man, I can see that. I can see Max being crazy enough to do it, but we'll see, man. Either way, it's gonna be fireworks.
What do you think? Do you think Ilia is kind of because I honestly think Ilia's best path to victory would probably be his grappling. Not that he can't get it done in striking, but we know how good Max's striking is. Obviously, we saw the Justin Gaethje knockout. We know the chin he has. Do you think Ilia is kind of posturing a little bit and he'll actually be looking to grapple, or do you think this will be fireworks on the feet?
I think it's going to be both. I mean, you're in there with Max Holloway. He's not the easiest guy to take down. I don't think anybody's really been able to exploit takedowns with him, not since maybe the very beginning of Max's career. So even if that's his path to victory, I don't think it's just the easiest way. It's not a guaranteed way to get it done. Yeah, but I think Ilia would be smart to definitely show that side of his skills.
I love it. Well, I know you'll be watching at the big celebration this weekend. Got to ask you ahead. Look ahead to the calendar. November 17th at the RWJ Barnabas Health Arena, Toms River. UFC Fight Pass is coming to town with CFFC Match Day for the big Rutgers University meet there. Princeton, NC State, Long Island University. I got to ask you, Frankie, college wrestling on UFC Fight Pass, kind of your worlds colliding right there. What do you think about this development and what it means for the sport of college wrestling?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Wrestling obviously is a big part of my career, a big part of who I am, and wrestling in Division I as well. I think that anytime they can get some notoriety and get some eyes on them is great for the sport, great for the athletes. A lot of our fighters come from that world, so it's definitely conducive to what we do in the MMA world. And yeah, I love that. It's right in my backyard, man. I live in Toms River, so I'll definitely be in the building.
Well, I was going to say, I feel like if anything combat sports related is happening at Tom's River, like you're going to be in the building. I feel like somebody has to check in with you and get permission for us to even do that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's gonna be it's awesome, man. It's great for my kid. You know, my kids all wrestle. All the kids in town wrestle. It's great for them to see, these kids that they've seen, kind of come up, before them on a big stage. Under the bright lights. It's great for everybody.
What's your pitch on that with wrestling, right? Because I grew up in Texas, and I think it's getting more of a wrestling culture, but it wasn't there when I was young. I know the East Coast has had it. I'm really kind of getting exposed to Division I wrestling for the first time through UFC Fight Pass and Match Day, and I love it, man. I think it's a phenomenal sport. We know the base that it has. We know how helpful it is. But what do you tell for people that may not have seen it before? Like, what would your pitch be to them to say, hey, man, why you should watch this if they haven't participated or maybe don't know about college wrestling? Like, what do you think makes Division I wrestling so fun?
It's just exciting. The kids, they care. You watch the passion that these kids have. They want to win like very badly, and they put it on the line. Time in and time out. And just the quality around the coaches and around the Division I programs. Go watch it. Go really. I mean, if I would recommend, go to the Barnabas event or go to a tight dual meet like Penn State versus Iowa, something like that, and you will 100 get hooked. Man, the fans are into it. It's intense. Yeah, I just think it's there's room for wrestling to be like a fan favorite type sport.
I love it. And let's be honest, I truly believe, and I'm sure you do too, I don't think there is a better base. If you do want to fight in your career, if you do want to be a mixed martial artist at some point in your life, I don't think there's any better base to start from than Division I college wrestling.
Yeah, just the grind of having to perform in a season, with the pressure of having to do school and, winning and your coach on your ass, all that stuff definitely gets you ready for the grind of a fight career.
I love it, man. Well, listen, you got podcasting going on. You got the Iron Arm Academy coaching. What else is keeping you busy? Is that enough for you? I got your family as well, right? You're coaching your family. What else keeps you busy these days?
Yeah. That's about it, man. I'm just kind of focusing on these paths for now, and we'll see what else we can muster up in the future.
I love it. That's all you thought retirement meant you got to chill out a little bit and settle down. You're probably busier than ever.
Yeah, I don't like downtime, so this is good for me. No downtime, man. That's some bad stuff happens at downtime.
I feel you. All right, Frankie, I appreciate the time as always. It's great catching up with everybody out in Tom's River. Get there on October 26th. Go check it out. Or if not, let's make it out November 17th. We'll be there for CFFC Match Day.
Absolutely, brother. I'll see you then.